Fist flying, no bounds. Podcast kings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQP, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it on a Thursday with no fights this weekend. So we got some other stuff going on. Hey, I appreciate that. I don't even know what to call you, man, because you always got a different name, but I appreciate it, Man's MMA. Still not trying to get me with that name this week. I don't know if I appreciate it or if I'm disappointed by it, but either way, appreciate you for being here. Thanks for the compliment on the intro. Yeah, I tried to make it, interesting. So I know not everybody's here for the intro all the time, but I've done my best to try to make it a little interesting for anybody else. Johnny from New York. Oh no, I'm gonna try to get you. I don't doubt it. I didn't doubt it. I was surprised to see that that's what came up today. Because yeah, I was just surprised you were in right before I got started. So appreciate you though for jumping in and interacting. It's always fun. But yeah, as you can see, I got something new in the background. This isn't permanent. This is strictly for today, and that's because if you saw YT just limits how often you can change your name. Got you. You got by the by the limitations. What up, Antoine? I'm good, man. I'm good. Just here with no fights to talk about, which is a sad thing. So I got some other stuff in store for you guys, like I said I would. And starting with the obvious, I got my hats over here. I know Antoine had asked what I keep my hats in, and there it is. They are these plastic containers that are kind of do you know Conor McGregor? He's gonna be fighting next week. Yeah. For sure. Hi, Mom. Welcome in, Mom. Appreciate you for jumping in. Yeah, I do want to have a little bit of some Conor talk, just because you know what, I forgot to put something in, and that's okay. I'll put it in and we can kind of do it on the fly. But there was maybe I don't know, maybe we'll just talk about it. But there was a video that Conor released. Yeah, man, Conor's back to not doing crazy shit, but still back to doing just off the wall stuff, which might be a good thing if you're a Conor fan, because that might mean that good old Conor's back. And yeah, and he's up to his old aunt. Yeah, that's my mom. She jumps in to say hi sometimes. But yeah, so Conor's up to his old antics, just but in an interesting way, man. It was kind of weird. All is good. What's going on, man? Hey, appreciate you for that, Man's MMA. Thanks for being cool and not trying to be weird. Sometimes people get a little funky with stuff like that, but I appreciate you. Oh, all is good jumped in, and I don't have my buttons ready. Let me get that popped up real quick. I forgot to throw that up. Here you go. All is good.
What's happening with you, man?
What's happening with you, man? Welcome in, guys. Antoine, I'll tell you, I'm having to learn so much this year so fast, and I had to make decisions without consulting my parents and stuff. It's happened a lot already this year. Yeah, man, that's growing up, man. I feel bad for my daughter. She seems like she's got some homesickness going on, and she's been posting things here and there, and she doesn't usually do that often. And every time she talks to us, it's just like, or she'll just answer something on social media about how much she misses and loves us, and I'm just like, damn. I'm trying so hard not to think about it, because I could just imagine the feeling. I remember those feelings back in the day when I was like, when I would leave home, or there was like massive changes in things, and I just get that like real bad feeling. Now that I think about it, I think I know what it was, and just high anxiety, and stuff like that. But yeah, I could just imagine, man. Especially because she can't just up and drive over to our house, and that's kind of what I was scared of with her moving away. That's why I wished she would have left home and moved away in town before she moved out of town and out of state. But that's part of growing up, man. That's what you got to do. And Antoine, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but hey, man, hang in there, bro, because that's how you learn, man. Like you said, you're learning so much, and making decisions without consulting people is how you make mistakes. You're gonna have to make mistakes and learn from them. Those are the biggest things that I've had to do in my life as well. You make mistakes, you learn from them, and if you don't learn from them, let's hope you don't make them more than once or twice, without learning from those mistakes, because repeated mistakes are the things that get you in big trouble and make for difficult times. Because if you're bad with your money, or you're bad with making a decision about something, and you're constantly doing these things that don't make sense, and you do them over and over and over again, you never learn from the fact of what you're doing, and you don't take accountability for it, you have to live with those consequences, and it's a damn shame, and sometimes those are dire consequences. So you gotta be careful with that stuff, man. But yeah, just I don't know why I got into like self-help talk here. What the fuck's going on? Anyway, I not that I care, it's fine, but yeah, I got into that real quick, sorry. Anyway, as you can see, I got my hats back here because I wear hats all the time, and obviously I get a lot of hats for gifts and stuff. So I sometimes that's what I tell my wife or my kids to get me for Father's Day, birthdays, and stuff like that. uh oh, okay, that's good, man, that's good. At least it's a good thing, but yeah, I get the feeling of things changing, and having to learn from it all. I've never left. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's tough, man. And it's weird because then you got to start all over and kind of get used to it again, and work your way in and get used to things like that stuff. Oh man. I was hoping this wouldn't happen, but give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to just don't go anywhere, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hold on. Oh damn. Oh damn. Oh damn. Hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. My bad. My bad. All right. Yeah, I got a guy out of town for work, and he was having some issues with his vehicle as he was trying to drive back, and I got a little worried that he got stranded. So luckily that didn't happen. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I every people have asked about my hats, commented on my hats. I had a guy back in the day that was a while back, that was constantly talking about how why just upset that I wear hats all the time. Apparently, I don't know how else to describe it. But anyway, I mentioned that I had some other stuff for you, so I figure we can take a look at my hat collection. And I think I counted, I've got about 48 or 50, somewhere around that one. And this is the last one of the new ones that I just got. Like I was saying, it's got some pretty sick like details. Look at that inside with the flag in gold. It's got the established in 1776. You got the USA 250 right there, and then of course the striping at the bottom, the stars and stripes on the A. Pretty sick. So yeah, and then of course the classic. But that's oh god, I did that the wrong way. But yeah, there we go. That's the last of the new hats. I like this one a lot. It's pretty sick, and I figure with 4th of July coming, had to wear it on the closest date that that I didn't have this one for the Freedom 250 fight, but I still have another one that you guys saw me wearing that day. Anyway, I figured we'll go through the hats and take a look at them. Do you have a favorite hat? It's fine if you don't. You know what? I mean, my going round hats, the black one, that's my favorite out of those. My Braves hats, I think I have a couple that I favor a lot. This is quickly becoming one of my favorites, honestly. But I do have a couple, and when I get to the ones that I like the most, I'll definitely show you, because I'm not gonna like go into detail, but I'm gonna take them out so you can kind of see the difference. You've seen most of them on me, but there's a few you might not have, I might not have worn that often or something. But I will definitely show you a couple of them, and yeah, that's something I wanted to get into. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and then besides that, I also have my collection of pictures that I've gotten with fighters. So, I'm not going to go into too much crazy detail, but I'll talk about the events and stuff, and things that I was able to witness and slash experience while meeting the fighters and stuff like that. And then I wanted to get into some rankings talking about the rankings because this is the second week of the rankings with the new rankings, the meta rankings, and I figured we could talk about them a little bit and take a look at what the rankings have. I know somebody, I don't remember who asked last week if the pound for pound was why they couldn't find it. It is a little confusing, but we'll go over that as well, and I'll show you kind of what I found as far as the pound for pound goes. So that's what we got for today. Hopefully you still stick around. I know we don't have a bunch of MMA combat sports talk, but hey, it's a little bit more of a segment of things that I've talked about doing for a little bit. Couple segments of things that the hats aren't as MMA related, but the pictures are. So classic GRP rant, back of the head versus nape of the neck rule explanations. Well, the exterior maxillodamus to the tachometer and the spinal. I don't remember what all he said, but I heard Big John McCarthy on Ariel Helwani's show say the same thing, and I'm just like, okay. He said himself, though, he said, I'm good friends with Herb Dean, so he kind of gave the same explanation. I feel like Herb maybe has had that explained to him in that way before, so maybe that's the truth. You know what I mean? The 2-inch strip in the back of the head, it's almost like a mohawk going all the way from the top to the bottom, and then the nape of the neck shit, all that. Who knows, man? I don't even know at this point, but people will not get off of the Herb Dean rant, and Pineda isn't backing down. He's calling for Herb Dean's job and shit, so there's a lot of talk around that. I feel like we're never going to get rid of the problems with refs. Someone's always going to have a problem with what the refs do, but sometimes it does get egregious, and sometimes it does become too much of a habit that certain refs have in either stopping a fight too late, too early, or letting shit slide that they shouldn't let slide. So the bad reffing needs to stop for sure, and I hope that something somewhere somehow makes a change or a difference. We'll have a long time going where only certain things will happen here and there, but it seems like lately everyone's had a problem with what's been going on with the reffing. The judges never change either, though. Do I think Herb is still a good ref? I would say yes. I think he's a good ref, as in he's got the experience. I think he picked up some bad habits. I think that he let the public eye influence him too much. I think that the fighters have influenced him too much. And I think a part of him maybe just doesn't care. He seems like a very laid back guy. I mean, cool dude when I got to meet him. I wasn't able to find that picture, but I do have a picture with Herb Dean as well. I just don't know where it is. I looked around and I didn't find it. So, but yeah, I think Herb is I think he's a good ref because of the experience he's been in for such a long time. And I feel like that's why some people are just kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's a good dude. I just think that he's been making a lot of mistakes that are becoming too consistent. And that's kind of like if you think about Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer was like damn near perfect with everything. And it seems like lately he's been making more mistakes as well. So I think the job just wears on you. I don't know if you can consider it being complacent. I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just, instead of being second nature, it just becomes you're running through the motions, and sometimes you miss things when you do that. And, we're all victim to that every once in a while. But, when it comes to the safety of a fighter or messing with a fighter's money, those kinds of things are kind of unexcusable. So that's what makes it worse when it comes to the refs and the judges. What up, Xavier? Welcome back, man. I think you missed the last one. I didn't see you in the chat, but welcome back, man. I'm doing good. How are you? Hopefully all is well. Appreciate you for jumping back in. And yeah, we got a little bit of some different stuff to talk about today or take a look at, but we'll get into it here in just a second. Before we go too far, I want to make sure that I give my sponsor a shout out, Noctane Smelling Salts, of course. We got the red cap bottle here as usual, and yeah, keeps you awake and alert. I like to start the show off with this, and before I get too deep, and make sure I take a big whiff of this and a little quick rush of adrenaline. You can learn all about it by scanning that QR code on the screen. There's a link in the description below, as always. Appreciate Noctane for the sponsorship. There's 3 different potencies. You can tell the difference by the color of the cap. This is the most potent bottle. You can also add scent and everything like that. So go take a look at their website. It's a nice one to look at, and it's informative. So here we go. We'll take a nice little whiff of this and get going. Oh. Woo. Oh yeah. This is the one I had in my bag. Oh man. I haven't used it in a couple days. Whew, that one was nice. Yeah, bro, I think it was an early one. I'm coming back to reality. June was a good month. Nice. Yeah, that one was rough. That got my eyes good. Big dog style. Let's fucking go. Smelly time. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. The smelling salts are good. They're kicking. And that was a rough one, but it was rough in a good way, because now I'm good to go. So thank you, Noctane, for the sponsorship. I appreciate that. You guys go check it out if you ever get a chance. My what's going on here? Hold on. There we go. my button wasn't working. What up, John? How you doing? Welcome in, man. Thanks for coming back. All right, so let's take a look at what I got for us first. As you can all see, for everybody that's just jumped in, I got my hat collection back here. Now you can see what I keep my hats in. This is a newer thing. My wife got these containers for me for Christmas, and it's been awesome. Like, I had a thing hanging on my door that you just kind of slide the hat in by the bill. And a lot of my hats are dirty because of any of the dust. You know, you get dust everywhere. So any of the dust collects on it, you don't use the hat for a while, stuff like that. So it kind of sucked. A few of my hats are a little messed up because of that. I haven't really got a chance to deep clean some of them. These allow me to protect my hats a little more, and I feel like it's a way better way to store the hats, especially keeping them away from dust and stuff like that. Because I have so many, and obviously I've bought a lot of them, but I've gotten a lot of them as gifts too. Regardless, that, you know, every hat's about $50, if not a little bit less or a little bit more, give or take $5 to $6 here and there, depends. Like this one was probably more like 55. Most of those in there were probably around the 40, 45. You know, anywhere from 40 to $55 for the most part. My going rounds hats were way more expensive because they're custom and they're new era hats as well. So we'll get into all the details of all that here shortly. First, I want to show you my collection of pictures that I've taken with fighters to, you know, bring it all together with MMA. You guys have asked me in the past, like, about meeting people. I've talked about my time going to certain fan expos and times that I've got to meet fighters here and there, the events I've gone to and stuff like that. So I figure we go through those pictures. We'll take a look at the hats, and then we'll talk about the rankings before we get out of here. So we'll get that going now, and we'll get it started with my first pictures. And these are, as you saw maybe in the thumbnail, these are a couple of my favorites. It's the first time I met Cowboy Cerrone, which is the picture on the right. And as you can see, if you've been a fan for a long time, everyone knows Iceman, Chuck Liddell. We waited in line for about close to 4 hours to be able to meet Chuck Liddell. We got in line before he was even there. We stayed in line forever, and I give the credit to staying in line to my kids. They wanted so badly to meet Chuck Liddell. So did I. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I was like, damn. We would leave 2 people in line. There was 5 of us, so we would leave, or 6 of us. We would leave 2 people in line. The rest of us would go use the bathroom, get drinks, get food, see other fighters, take other pictures, and then we would rotate. So yeah, we all still got experiences, but some of, you know, sometimes we had to kind of sit around and wait in line, but it was well worth it, I think. So it might have been more like 3 hours, not 4. I think it might have been more like 3, but it was worth it because we got to meet and take pictures with Chuck Liddell, which was awesome. So yeah, those are 2 of my favorite pictures. The picture with Cowboy, he took the exact same picture with my daughter and my older daughter who just moved away, and since then she's been one of his favorite he's been one of her favorite fighters. That poster I used to have up there with Connor and Cowboy, that was her poster. She took it with her because it was hers. But even though that was a bad fight for Cowboy, her boyfriend is a very big McGregor fan, so it was kind of like a house divided type picture that was perfect for them. So but yeah, and he took a picture with my older daughter and asked her if she had Instagram, and she shook her head no and pointed at me, and he goes, "Oh, Dad, you don't let her have it yet, huh?" I was like, "Nope, she's too young." He's all, "Listen to your fucking dad and stay out of trouble. When you get an Instagram, post it and tag me." Which was awesome. So Cowboy was cool as shit. So yeah, those were 2 of my favorites, and then here's another couple of my favorites, because obviously I owe a lot of my effort and time and knowledge of podcasting to Joe Rogan. And that's because I started listening to podcasts by watching Joe Rogan, and he was always a favorite of mine. I got him to sign an Alpha Brain jar that I had. Yeah, man, it took a long time before I let them jump on social media. So, and even then we still monitored, luckily, because yeah, fuck yeah, Joe's still the man. He definitely is, man. He definitely is. I think he's getting older, and some of his things are a little off sometimes, and I understand why people get upset with him. But at the same time, if you've known him for a long time by listening to him through his podcast, because he definitely puts a lot of himself out there through that, and you get to understand the type of person he is, you understand that it's you know, he's never really malicious about things. So Joe Rogan's the shit, and I never thought I'd be able to meet him, and I was so happy I got to meet him. I got to ask him a question. I waited in line to ask him a question. I was the last person to get to ask him a question, and he had already said no more people to get an autograph from him because they were lining people up. And after he answered my question, he said he liked it, and he told me to go wait in line. So I was like, hell yeah. So I was happy about that, and I got to be in line and got to meet him and take the picture. So that was awesome. And as you can see, I got Showtime Anthony Pettis right there as well. He was just walking through the Fan Expo, and you know, he's hanging out, of course, by Head Rush, because he was I think he was sponsored by them for a while. And I just happened to walk by him and saw him, said what's up, and we took a picture. So, and of course, you know, this was all in 2013, these first pictures at the UFC Fan Expo, the first one I ever went to. We all do, bro. None of us are perfect, though. And when you put yourself out there, you're going to get scrutinized 100%. Yeah, man, this is awesome. I love the fact that I found all these pictures again. Did you meet any cool fans in line? From what I remember, yeah. Especially the second, when we get to the pictures, I only have a few from the second Expo, and that's because the lines were absolutely crazy at the Expo I went to like 3 years ago. It was so nuts. Like, I would have literally had to just wait in line forever, and I wouldn't have been able to experience anything else. So I didn't get a lot of pictures with fighters, but I did get some far away pictures and stuff, and there was some fans that I thought were cool. 2013, I don't remember a whole lot of the interactions I had there with other people other than the fighters and stuff. So yeah, this was good times, man. This was back when my kids were real young. You're gonna see a couple pictures of my kids in here when they were young. And in 2013, they were what, 12 and 11, some shit like that, or 10 and 11. So yeah, they were young. But yeah, this was fun, man. This was fun, and I didn't get to another one until 10 years later. 2023 was the last one I went to. So we'll keep going here. This is pretty cool. I know a lot of people have bad feelings about Pat Barry, but I always thought Pat Barry was cool, and he was just sitting here chilling. He wasn't doing anything. No one was really going up to him. It was kind of weird. I knew who Pat Barry was, so I was like, hey, it's fucking Pat Barry. Let me go say what's up. And I did. And he shook my hand. He talked to me for a few minutes, and then we took a picture, and it was cool. And he just sat there and chilled, no worries in the world, was happy to talk, and hung out. It was awesome. So as you can see, I was a big Tap Out fan because I got the Tap Out Tap Out shirts in every picture. I have a Tap Out tattoo, if that makes. I know Tap Out was kind of the quintessential douchebag thing that people talked about with fight fans back in the day, but so was Affliction too. So it was kind of just one of those things. I had a ton, and I still have a lot of my old Tap Out shirts put away in storage, but I got rid of a lot of the ones that were really worn out and shit. But it's just an era, you know what I mean? Back in the day before I got into MMA, I was a big G Unit fan, so I wore G Unit clothing. So you know, early 20s and stuff like that. Thanks, Xavier, that's awesome. Yeah, I wore a bunch of G Unit stuff back in the day too. It was cool. I just pick clothing, you know what I mean? The shirts I wear right now, they're called Into the AM. They have nothing to do with fighting at all. I just love the designs. I love the fit of the shirt, and I like all the colors and the designs and everything like that. And they hold up a lot. They hold up well. So these are just some of my favorite shirts right now. So I usually pick something and I stick with it. It's just kind of my thing. And Tap Out was my thing for a long time. So the other picture is Kung Lee. If you're a newer fan, you might not know who Kung Lee is, but Kung Lee was a badass, and he had a bit of a Echo. I was big into Echo as well. I still actually have a pair of Echo shorts that I wear still, which is kind of crazy. But you would never know that they're Echo unless you really look at the small little tiny like logo that's on it. But yeah, I used to wear Echo shirts all the time too, for sure. But yeah, Kung Lee, he had a bad kind of separation with the UFC. He was part of the big lawsuit and stuff like that. So yeah, Kung Lee was dope though. He's a badass fighter too. Moving on, RIP to Stephan Bonnar. As we all know, it passed away from, you know, basically addiction. Too many pills. It's a sad thing, but yeah, Stephan Bonnar, I got to meet him, which was awesome. And he was cool as shit. And then we had Martin Kampmann. I got my South Pole and Echo fits from high school. They don't fit. Yeah, none of my shirts would probably fit me either, to be honest with you. That's why they're tucked away in storage. Plus it's dated, you know what I mean? But the Tap Out shirts were pretty sick. And I met the Tap Out guys. You'll see that here too in just a second. But yeah, Stephan Bonnar, RIP to Stephan Bonnar. I always had some, you know, I always had a little bit of a infinity for him, for this affinity, right? How do you say that? Whatever, you know what I mean. Because of the fact that I got to meet him, he was really cool when I did, and I hated seeing him go down the path that he went and struggles that he went through, and then unfortunately passed away. I did some boxing and stuff like that. I was gonna start up with some jiu-jitsu, and then some things happened, and I wasn't ever able to get to it. I know it's never too late, but this body's old right now. It's not going to get any younger either, but I definitely need to lose some weight, and I should probably do it to do that. But my job is very demanding, and I barely have time to get the show done a lot of times, between that and being able to rest and take some time for myself and do other things. But maybe one day I will get back into some stuff. But I definitely did some boxing for a while, which was really fun. I had a big heavy bag in my garage that I would go out and hit. I was actually got to the point where I was, you know, regularly doing combinations with you know, throwing the hands, the elbows. I was throwing kicks. It felt great. I'm not sure that I was doing it exactly correctly, but I was definitely throwing some kicks that felt pretty good to me. You know, they felt very goofy at first. I had never really thrown a kick purposely like that, and then I started doing it, and it felt pretty good. I wish I would have kept up at least doing the garage workouts, but you know, life sucks sometimes. It sucks. Mental health and addiction is brutal. Something you can't understand unless you understand. Yeah, I understand, man. Unfortunately, I've had a lot of people around me suffer from addiction and depression and mental health issues and stuff like that. It's a damn shame. But you know, it's something a lot of people have to struggle with and deal with, and it's just a matter of if you can get through it or not. So my dogs are barking like crazy. No worries, Xavier. You know, it's just life, man. That's how things go. I want to take a kickboxing class, super beginner stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Do it. It's fun. It's fun. And I got to spar with people in boxing and stuff like that too, which that was fun. And then just, you know, holding pads for people, having people hold pads for me. That shit was pretty cool. And I'll tell you what, the combinations I learned in that stuck with me, and I used them a couple times when I had to defend myself. So they came in handy. But the second picture, no shade to Bonner, I didn't mean to leave out Martin Kampman, but Martin Kampman, if you're a newer fan, you probably don't know who Martin Kampman is, but he was involved in some crazy wars. He was a beast. He was definitely a dog in the cage, and I watched him early on, so I got to meet him as well. As you can see, he's got a cut on his forehead because yeah, he's an animal. He trained all kinds and stuff like that, so I go through it myself, so I appreciate people being open. Yeah, man, you just gotta navigate your way through and get the help when you need it, and you know, find some people you can rely on, and don't be afraid to talk it out sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I gotta remind myself of that shit at times too, because a lot of times I just bottle it up, and that's not good. All right, moving on. We got Clay Guida and Natural Born Killer Carlos Condit. These were fun, man. These happened in the old strip in downtown, you know, Vegas. This was the first night we got there, and yeah, I got to meet a few guys over here, and it was pretty cool at this signing. And obviously you can see the pictures on the tables. I got, you know, all these pictures that night, and we're able to get them signed and get the pictures taken with them. So that was pretty fun. Guido was cool. It was pretty short with him. Carlos Condit actually talked for a second. So yeah, it was a good one, man. I was happy that, and Carlos Condit was one of my favorites back in those days too. So I was happy to be able to meet him and stuff. And Clay Guida's just, he's a beast, man. he's a crazy character, that's for damn sure. So it was cool to get to meet him too. Yeah, watching Clay fight was crazy, man. I wish the end would have been a little better for him. I wish he could have progressed a little more than he did, but it was always fun watching him scrap. So next one was pretty cool, and here's one with my kids. I got to hold the Pride Championship belt with Mark Coleman and Wes Sims. I don't know if anybody knows Wes Sims. He was a part of Coleman's team, and he fought a little here and there. I don't remember specifically if he was in the UFC, but I know he fought in other organizations outside of the UFC. But yeah, my kids would probably hate me for showing this picture because they hated their pictures when they were younger. But I thought it was pretty cool getting to hold that Pride belt, man. And I wish I still had it. I think I might still have it. I have a Pride shirt as well, which is pretty sick. I loved it. I loved wearing it because, you know, what people that knew would always comment on it. You know what I'm saying? Pride never dies. Sometimes people would just walk by me and say that shit, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's a fight fan right there. So I need to reinvest in some MMA shirts, man. I don't have many right now. I only have the Black Beast shirt that I've worn a couple times. I don't think I have any other ones. I used to have a bunch of UFC shirts, and I used to have a Nate Diaz shirt. I still have a BJ Penn shirt, I think. And then I was wearing some Roots of Fight shirts for a while. So I have like a couple Mike Tyson shirts and Muhammad Ali shirt. Those were pretty sick too. But yeah, I loved this picture because I got to hold the Pride belt, which was badass. So moving on, we had Gilbert Melendez and Joseph Benavidez. So one of the Scrap Pack members in with Gilbert Melendez, El Nino, and then Joseph Benavidez, you know, a beast in the lighter weight classes, WEC guys. Good to meet these guys, and you know, they look so damn young, it's crazy. So do I. But I don't have all the white in the beard and shit and in the chin. But yeah, it was fun this night getting to go meet all these guys at downtown. Next, we got only a couple women made it in, and that's just because there wasn't that many back then. But yeah, got to meet Ariane Celeste and Kenda Perez. If you know, Kenda Perez is actually married to Cub Swanson. She was an Octagon Girl way back in the day. She did some outside stuff, kind of like what Laura Sanko was doing before she started commentating. And then obviously Ariane Celeste, one of the most notable Octagon girls there were out there. I mean, look how damn tiny she is in this one, man. Bro, the queen of MMA, yup. And I mean, she was small as hell in this picture. She's gotten, you know, she's a mom now. She's gotten a little bigger, but I would say bigger in the good way. Like, she's a little thick now. And if you know, you know, she's on that blue and white page. If you don't know, go check it out, because yeah. And Kenda Perez, well, she was just badass, and it was cool to get to meet her as well. So yeah. And next up, we have the Tap Out guys. Unfortunately, as if you were into Tap Out and you knew the lore from all of the Tap Out stuff, Mask was the main guy for Tap Out, and unfortunately he passed away before I got to meet him. But Tap Out was my thing, man. I'm telling you, like I said, I have a Tap Out tattoo on my leg. I was into Tap Out. I had Tap Out stickers on my vehicles, on my motorcycle when I had it. So yeah, Tap Out was my thing. And as you can see, every one of these pictures I have a Tap Out shirt. But yeah, Mask was the shit. I loved him, his character. I loved him as a person. And you know, as you can see, the left hand picture, if you don't know, the guy with the crazy hair is Skyscrape, and then the guy in the bottom with the hat is Punk Ass. So it was Punk Ass, Skyscrape, and Mask. And yeah, unfortunately Mask is missing, because we all know he passed away in the car accident where he wrecked his Ferrari, which was a damn shame. But yeah, it was cool to get to meet these guys, man. I never ever thought I'd get to meet them. And my kids were super happy to meet them too, because they had seen Tap Out from as long as they could remember, from me just sporting the gear and stuff like that. So it was cool. And as you could tell, I never wore hats that much back in this day. I spent a lot of time wearing hats when I was a kid and in high school and stuff, because I played baseball, so I wore hats all the time. So for a long time, I didn't wear hats anymore. I would just wear them every once in a while, and I only had a few. And then I got back into wearing hats, and then I just, you know, got the love back for hats, and now I wear them all the time again. And not for any other reason, because my hairline basically looks the same, as you saw probably when I took my hat off. And I still do the same thing and shave my head, but yeah, I wear hats now because I just like it. I don't know. What was your personal favorite event that you went to? I would say this one, the UFC Fan Expo in 2013, because my kids got to go with me and experience it with me while they were young. It was one of the things they still talk about to this day. And because I got to meet so many people I was so just enthralled with back then, with Chuck Liddell, Cowboy, the Tap Out guys, all of it, man. It was so badass. So 2013, the UFC Fan Expo, 100% my most favorite, you know, event that I went to. It was just it's gonna be hard to top that one, honestly. So moving on, we have some more with my kids, and that's Phil Davis, Mr. Wonderful, in that picture on the left. And my wife's maiden name is Davis, so my older daughter thought it was cool that he had the same last name before we got married. So she was really into wanting to meet him, and I thought it was cool that they were so happy to meet him. As you can see, my younger daughter in the middle there with the Wonder Woman shirt, she's just cheesing. And they got to tell, like, oh, I forgot when I had the Chuck Liddell one up there. My younger daughter had just gotten her black belt in Taekwondo. My older daughter started a little bit after her, so she was on her way to getting it. She was almost there, but my younger daughter had just gotten it. And she got to tell Chuck Liddell that she just got her black belt in Taekwondo. And dude, her face lit up when he like congratulated her and told her. It was so cool to see him do it. And he was just like, that's so awesome. Don't ever stop with martial arts. I wish she would have kept going with it, but she didn't. But he just told her that, you know, even if she didn't continue on, that those were going to be lessons that were going to help her through life. And I feel like it was a good discipline that they both learned. And they both were able to get their black belts in Taekwondo. So even though it's like, you know, little kid style of a black belt, it still did a lot for them. So I'm happy that they got to, you know, get that confidence instilled in them, and they got to learn some discipline and stuff like that. So it was cool. Yeah, for sure, all is good. And then as you can see, Ryan Bader, we got to meet him a couple times. We met him up in Phoenix because that's, you know, he's from Arizona, so he went to ASU and stuff like that. So we got to meet him once before this, and then we got to see him again. And what was cool is we actually bumped into him later on after this event while we were at a restaurant, and he was standing outside. So we got to hang out and talk with him for a second while we were waiting on our table, because he was just kind of hanging out waiting for himself. So That was cool too. So Bader's one of those guys that I like a lot too for that simple fact. And as you know, some of these pictures look a little better than others because obviously this was in 2013. The cameras on the phones weren't the best. So if you moved a little bit, they get a little blurry. Excuse that. I'm sure everybody understands that. But here we go. Kat Zingano. For some reason, I found a lot of the pictures my younger daughter was in. I don't know why. Yeah, Kat Zingano, she had just gotten surgery on her knee. So she had a big cast on her leg, but she was there signing autographs. As you can see, she has a big smile because my daughter was telling her as well about the fact that she just got a black belt and telling her that she watched some of her fights and was a fan of hers. So that was cool. She actually she insisted on Kat signing her arm. So she had a huge Kat Zingano signed across her forearm, and she refused to wash it off until like damn near we got back home, which was hilarious. And then the legend, Mr. Randy Couture, was at one of the fight shops. And thanks, Xavier. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's definitely fun to see all the memories and the fact, shit, these are all fighters people should probably know. And it's crazy to look back and know that I got to like meet these people and have these memories. But yeah, Randy Couture, I got to meet him. He was at one of the fight shops, the Las Vegas fight shop, and that was cool. I waited in. I was like the second person in line. Actually, we got up early enough to be able to go and check it out, which was cool. And yeah, I feel like this picture's awkward because I'm leaning over, but he was like, he kept telling me to get closer. I'm like, bro, there's a fucking thing here, and he's like, it's all good. And then he just like kind of put his arm around me, and I did too. And then we just kind of, you know, took the picture like that. It was funny, but he was doing that kind of with everybody. So I thought it was funny because I think he was just like, whatever, if you want a picture, you better get in here. So I actually bought an Affliction shirt of his, you know, it said Extreme Couture on it, and I had him sign that. So I do have his autograph on a shirt and on a couple of pictures too, which is cool. What's the most unexpected death in MMA? Evan Tanner. Yeah, man, I think that might be it. Because, you know, there's not too many guys out there that have passed away like in the amount of, you know, in the time that they were well known. Obviously the, you know, Stephan Bonnar one was horrible, but like we kind of, the writing was on the wall if he wasn't going to get the help or be able to get, you know, himself out of the hole that he was in. So yeah, the Evan Tanner one was crazy just because I had literally just started getting deep into MMA when that happened. So yeah, that was crazy just because of how it happened, like what the circumstances were. You know, he didn't have all these things out in the open that people knew about like Stephan Bonnar did. So yeah, I think that was definitely unexpected, one of the most unexpected for sure. But yeah, it was cool meeting Randy Couture, being a legend and all that good stuff. So then I also got some pictures, and you can tell by the quality of these pictures, man, I didn't steal these. I took these pictures myself. I'm not in them, neither are any of my family or friends, because we weren't able to get in these lines, or they weren't actually in a line. So it was crazy. But I got John Jones as he was doing an interview on a show, and then I got GSP from afar. His line was absolutely ridiculous. We would have stayed in that line longer than for Chuck Liddell, and we didn't have the time. We would have never gotten to do anything else had we stood in his line. So unfortunately, I just got a picture from far away, but it was still cool to see GSP there. We walked by the table one time, and the kids were like, GSP, and he like waved at us and shit. That was cool. And then also my wife was a big fan of GSP, and so we actually had this, like, it almost looks like this flag up here that was of GSP, and we lived in a 2-story house, so like off the balcony we had it, because we would always have big fight parties, you know, like watch parties with a bunch of people. So she bought that, and we actually had it up there. Unfortunately, this day we lost it because we planned on getting it signed, and then somehow or another we misplaced it, and she never found it, which is sad. But we had that hanging up forever, so the girls, my kids, knew who GSP was for sure. But it was cool seeing. Look how young John Jones looks too, is nuts. How long is the GSP line? I'm talking it wrapped. it wrapped around the area that he was on, and then they snaked it back, and it wrapped again about 2 or 3 times. So you would walk this way, and so we were trying to find the back of the line. This is how I know how long it was. We're trying to find the back of the line. We think we're at the back. It's actually just a cutoff that that people were making sure that they were leaving an opening to walk through because it was so long. So we got in line, and then we got yelled at for cutting. And so I was like, okay, so where's the end? Like, I just thought that that's where it was. And they showed us where the end of the line was. The security took us back there, and I was like, holy fuck. So we stood in line for about 10 minutes, watched and to see how fast it was going. We would have been there forever. So we didn't get to meet GSP, which sucks. Dude, every time I hear John in an interview now, it's so crazy hearing his voice because it's so rare. Yeah, he was just in that interview recently talking about all kinds of stuff with the Ilya Taporia stuff and Cyril Gahn, Alex Pineda, the Herb Dean stuff, all that. So also, was he the champion at that point? I don't remember. I think he was. Who's a fighter you've never met but you want to meet them someday? Max Holloway for sure. Max Holloway, and let's see who else. Max Holloway. Holy shit! You know what I forgot? I forgot a picture in here. I'll bring it up anyway. But yeah, I would love to meet Max Holloway. I swear I met Demetrius Johnson at this event, but I didn't get to take a picture with him. We met him in passing. So I don't think I actually got to meet him or take a picture with him. Late to join, but we in here. Hey, what's up, Infinity? Welcome in, man. Appreciate you for jumping in. So yeah, I think Max Holloway is definitely one of my favorite ones. Oh, Nate Diaz as well. Nick Diaz. I would love to meet them as well. So yeah, that'd be cool. Fuck yeah, Max for sure. I want to meet Chael. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Chael for a long time, but he's grown on me a little bit more. So I would love to meet Khabib too. That would be sick. Khabib for sure. Random, but I'd want to meet TJ Dillashaw. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I've heard he's kind of an asshole, but that might have just been back in the day because he seems like a lot different now. So I wouldn't mind TJ as well. Sugar Sean too, and I bet you I could, if I tried hard enough, I could find a way to meet Sugar because he lives in Arizona. So I can go to the pickleball courts that they own and stuff like that. I've heard he's not a good person, but I wonder what talking to him would be like. Yeah, I mean, I bet he's cool in a quick interaction. So yeah, imagine Prime Dillashaw versus Sugar Sean. That would have been sick. Actually, that would have been a good fight. And the shit talk would have been crazy. So, moving on. Another couple other pictures from afar. Mike Tyson. I'm surprised I got this picture as close as I did. There was a crowd of people. It was like a cloud moving in the sky. That's how many people were around him between security and fans, and you just couldn't get near. But I got this picture as he was standing still waiting for the security to do what they were doing, and there's just this group of people just around him. So I didn't want to be that guy trying to push my way through or nothing, but yeah, I got to see him pretty close, as you could tell, and I took this picture. And then Forrest Griffin was there when I met Stephen Bonner, but he had a long line, and we wound up, I don't remember what wound up happening, so I never got a chance to meet Forrest, but it was cool seeing him there. That's my favorite hypothetical fight to think about. Yeah, that's definitely a good one for sure. I'd never really thought about that, but that would be good. So yeah, it was cool seeing these guys. So moving on to some that were away from this event. I met Kelvin Gastelum at the first fight that I went to, or maybe this was the second fight that I went to. Yeah, the second fight. Pretty cool, rocking the Phoenix Cardinals hat because he is from Arizona, so that was cool. I got to meet him I was going to get a beer after I went to the bathroom, and he just happened to be in line. Said what's up to him, talked to him for a little bit, and then and yeah, got a picture with him. So that was cool. Kelvin was cool. And then that's me and my wife with Brendan Schaub. In that picture on the right, we went to one of his Big Brown Breakdown shows from back in the day when he first started that show, and he was halfway doing comedy, halfway doing the Big Brown Breakdown. So, oh, there's my Pride shirt. Pride. He actually appreciated that shirt. He mentioned it right away. He goes, "Pride never dies. That's a fucking dope shirt." I was like, "Thanks, man. I knew you would appreciate it." So that was cool. Why do you think Nate hasn't been on JRE? I think it's because he just doesn't like being on that shit. And I know that he was on Theo Von's show, and he's been on a couple of other shows like with Bradley Martin and stuff. I think that that's just he understands the reach of Rogan, and I think that, you know, maybe they just never linked up that way. Maybe Rogan's never really pressed him to be on. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool to see him. I think that the way that Joe talks maybe isn't the right thing for Nate. I think that's what gets to him sometimes, is the way that people talk to him. And I think that just the way that Joe presents himself, the intelligence that kind of comes from him, I wouldn't say it's intimidating to Nate, but Nate's a simple guy. He just wants to talk some shit and be cool and chill. And that's kind of what Theo brought. You know, you saw him laughing and shit with Theo Von. I think Joe could get him there too, but Joe likes to talk real in depth and get in depth with his guests. So I'm pretty sure that might lead to part of the reason why Nate's never been on there. Do you think Brendan was a good fighter back then? Listen, he was in the top 10. He was ranked number 10. That might not be much to some people, but he beat Crow Cop. He knocked him out. He beat Noguera. He beat some big name guys, and he had some really good fights. And yeah, I understand that the end of his career wasn't the best, but that happens to a lot of guys. So I think that he had a really good chance of becoming or at least fighting for a belt at one point, but you know, it kind of slipped away from him. And he had that fight with Andrei Arlovsky where it was kind of a shit show of a fight because they're friends, and it just kind of didn't work out. But yeah, it kind of sucks. But to me, yes, I think he was good for a short period of time. He was ranked in the top 10, so you know, it's hard to deny that. He's a smart, dumb guy. Usually they're the most intelligent. They don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. Yeah. Father Time always wins, man. Yeah. Did you watch Joe Rogan, Brian Callen, and Brendan pod when it happened? Yes, I did. I was because that's right when I was watching Rogan all the time. And yeah, I couldn't believe my ears, man. I thought they were doing a bit. And then I heard how serious it got, and it was kind of crazy. So yeah, I heard it. I definitely did while it was on, and it was crazy. I couldn't believe that that's how it went down. Anyway, moving on. A couple old school guys. We had there's my Nate Diaz shirt. I got to meet Don Fry. He's from Arizona. He lives in Arizona. I think he lives like probably not even an hour away from me. And yeah, I met him in a bar. He was just there at a bar that we went to all the time. So yeah, it was it's an old fashioned, man. That's my signature drink. I have my own little concoction, little recipe that I've made. And every show you'll see me with an old fashioned, unless it's a watch party, and then it goes from old fashions to twisted teas. But I like to have a drink every time I'm on the show. Kind of eases the nerves, you know what I'm saying? Lets me get a little loose. But yeah, so Don Fry, that was cool. When I got to meet him, he saw my shirt and pointed at it, said he liked the shirt. And yeah, he was just a cool dude. So, and then I got Freddie Roach. This was at the fan expo that I went to the last one I went to in 2023. Hey, cheers. Appreciate you. So yeah, Freddie Roach, Wildcard Boxing. I mean, come on. Old school boxing trainer and corner man and stuff. Gotta love it. So that was cool to meet him. He was really cool. He was talkative as all hell. So yeah, legends for sure. That's what I appreciate the hell out of. So now we're moving into the last expo I went to. Me and Cowboy recreated the picture. I showed him the picture from 2013. So we recreated it. That was pretty dope. I have that picture sitting back there because my buddy Clark got that for me and framed it. He printed it out, framed it when he gave me this card, which is a PSA 10 Cowboy autograph. Pretty sick. It's a dope ass gift. He wanted to contribute to the room, So he gave me this card and framed that picture for me, which was pretty sick. Clark's always on the watch parties. So, and then the former champ Eljo, got to meet him, me and my wife. This was pretty cool with the background of all the TVs and shit. You know, he had his actual own little area where he was signing, and he's the champ at the time. So as you can see it by his shirt, full-time champ. But yeah, it was pretty cool meeting Eljo. We were actually one of the first ones in there as well. He looked a little discombobulated, but he was cool. He put it all aside and was cool to all the fans and stuff. So I appreciated that because it looked like a rough start when he got there, because we were there before he even got there. And yeah, it was a rough start, and I was like, damn, is he kind of an asshole or what? But he was valid after I figured out what was going on, and then he was very cool to all the fans. So appreciate that from Eljo. A couple pictures from far away. We had, oh no, first we had Gilbert Burns. Me and my wife got to take a picture with him too. And Gilbert was down to earth, man. Gilbert was sick. You think he was tipsy? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get that vibe really, so I don't know. But yeah, Gilbert Burns was so cool, man. Just talked to him for a quick minute or two, and he was so cool. You know, just the way that he talks, you know, between his accent and stuff. Yeah, it was funny, and he was just he was talking a little shit too, which is kind of cool. And we just talked for a quick second, but it was awesome. And he was very nice to my wife as well, so that was cool. I was happy about that. And then you see Joanna Jędrzejczyk got to, you know, I was actually standing in line to get up there, and this is when I knew there was no way, because this line wasn't even that long, and we didn't get through it to be able to get up there to meet any fighters up there on the stage, and that sucked. So the other days that we were there, we didn't even try because those lines were so much longer, which is why I didn't get so many pictures from this expo as I did from the first one. But a couple pictures from afar. Israel Adesanya, that was a good one. That his line was incredibly long as well. And then we had Kamaru Usman right there that I got from a little far away. The Izzy one was one of the guys in line. One of the guys that was in line, it was a fan, and he had the broken native on his arms the way Izzy Adesanya has them, which was crazy. And then he was wearing the shirt. This dude was like hardcore, and he was Australian. And he was just like straight up just hardcore Izzy fan. I was like, damn. So yeah, or New Zealand. I forget exactly where he was from, but yeah, he was a hardcore Izzy fan, super fan for sure. Yeah. But he was cool as shit, and I saw him throughout the entire time I was there. I kept seeing him, and we'd point to each other, say what's up, or cheers a fucking drink or something every time we passed by. It was cool. And I remember him because he had the broken native on, and it was dope. So, and I was just like, I appreciate it because I'm an Izzy fan as well. And then we got to go to the Hall of Fame ceremony, and this was awesome because I love Robbie Lawler. He's actually one of my favorite fighters. I forget to mention him when people ask because I'm just so absent-minded sometimes, but Robbie Lawler is definitely one of my favorite fighters of all time, and I got to watch him get inducted into the Hall of Fame, which was cool. And then, as you see, Cowboy got inducted as well, and that is his picture of him chugging a beer. But you know, he hands the statue over, and he starts chugging a beer, and that's true Cowboy fashion. So, as you can see, I'm a Cowboy fan, considering how many pictures I have of him and with him. So that was pretty dope. Also got to see the Nogueira brothers with Forrest Griffin right there, and Big Nog, Little Nog. Oh yeah, Infinity. I'm gonna do a little hat tour, so I brought my hats in here because I wanted to show how I keep them, you know, stored, and I'm gonna show off some of the hats right now, so that'll be next. But yeah, Jose Aldo getting inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. Super legend here too. The Nogueira brothers as well, with Forrest Griffin back there. That's awesome. So yeah, the Hall of Fame ceremony was really cool. So I was happy to have been there and got to witness that and got to go into, you know, T-Mobile Stadium and shit. That was fun. So next up, I got a couple videos. Remember I talked about the Ian Gary videos. So I had a second video I didn't even realize I had. So here's the first one. I hope the volume doesn't play because it's bad. The audio got weird, but there's Ian. He, you know, just looking straight at the camera, sticking his tongue out and shit, which was pretty funny. But yeah, I just happened to walk over and I see a bunch of people and mics, and then next thing you know, I'm standing there videoing and he just kind of gives me that, which is cool. And then here's the second video. Uh-oh, we got stuck there. There we go. Okay, it's why is it getting weird? There we go. It's playing all funky. What's going on here? Hold on 1 second. Let's let it catch up. I think the transition kind of fucked it up a little bit. All right, here we go. So this one, he was like yelling into cameras and there was people swarming him. I didn't even know it was Ian again until I walked over because I was just trying to see. But as you can see, he has a camera crew, you know, walking by him as well. I had my GoPro on this little holder that I had. So this was kind of crazy. I was just standing right next to him and they almost bumped into me as he's like kissing on his wife and shit, which was crazy. But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that I wound up running into them there. So then my other video, this one does have volume. I'll bring the volume up as we get to the actual speaking portion, but this was Joaquin Buckley and he was on one of those punch machines. Let me pause it because it's getting all choppy again. I think the transitions of going from one video to the other got a little crazy there. Uh-oh, and now I have an error on YouTube. What's going on? Okay, hold on, let me pause it real quick and make sure that things aren't going nutty. All right, I think we're good. I think the video just got a little crazy there. I thought that was just me. No, it was me for sure. Let's see if this video holds up. We'll play some volume here in just a second. Let me see, where is the volume for this? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Perfect time. Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Oh, we here to promote the next fight, man. All right. Yeah. So who all going for JDM? Be honest. You going for JDM? Holler for me. Jack Della Maddalena. Oh my Lord. See, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So this is interesting because this was before JDM became champion. Obviously, he had literally just got into the UFC not too long before, and Joaquin Buckley was adamant about calling him out. So this is what this is about.
Jack Della Maddalena is the one that's fighting this LFA kid, all right, on the UFC. He get all the first round knockouts, but I'm guessing I'm giving him free promo. So fuck him. Do y'all want to see me fight? Yeah. Right? Take him out. So I'm planning on fighting in Australia, all right, September 10th. If y'all want to see me fight, I want to fight this kid named Jack if he gets this win, okay? But the only way I can fight him is get with y'all support. So I need y'all to tag my name, tag his name, JDM. I'm gonna keep it simple since y'all don't know who he is, all right? And then as well, I need y'all to tag the UFC so I can fight my man in Australia, all right? Yeah. Y'all like that? Yeah. Let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah. Give him Jack.
There we go. So yeah, that was Joaquin Buckley talking some shit, you know, saying that nobody knows who Jack Della Maddalena is, and he wanted to fight him, and I guess he felt like Jack was ducking him. But yeah, he didn't get that fight, and he didn't get to fight in Australia that year either. But yeah, we'll see if he bounces back, man, because he went on a tear there and then he suffered that loss. So, you know, it's unfortunate for him, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. We'll see how much further he can go when he does get back in line. Yeah, they know now. Okay, so let me get back here. Buckley. Oh, okay, that was the last one. Here, you know what? Before we go too far, I actually think I forgot one, and it's an important one. So let me take a look at these pictures real quick, and I might just have to load it in quickly because I definitely forgot this one, and I'm not sure how I passed this one up. Did I actually forget to move it over into my... Oh man, that sucks. I forgot to even... It didn't get carried over. I wonder if I can email it to myself. Well, you know what? I'll bring it up on my phone and I'll just show you guys here. I'll move over to this main scene real quick. I know I have this picture ready. Let me see. Where is it? I thought I had it ready. I must not have moved it over, and I think that's why I didn't it didn't carry over into the pictures for this, but I will find it. Come on, man. I found this picture before so quickly, and now I'm not finding it. Anyway, it was me and Cain Velasquez. So I got to meet him at a local event here in Tucson, and that was cool because, you know, I got to talk to him for a quick second too. And I was just happy to meet him because he's from Arizona, and I liked his fighting style, and I just liked him as a person. So, and we all know about the craziness that happened to him with his child, and the stuff that happened, how he wound up going to jail for shooting somebody, which is crazy. But man, it's a damn shame I don't have it. I don't know what happened. This sucks, because I did have, that was one of the main pictures, and I completely lost it. So I mean, I know where I can find it, but it's gonna take too long to try to find right now. Like, it's taking me too long to look through my phone. So hey, thanks, all is good. I appreciate that. Anyway, I do have a pic with Cain Velasquez, but I can't find it, and I don't want to hold it up for too long with that one. Don't mess with people's money or their honey. Yeah, or their kids especially. And I know Infinity would definitely do the same thing if some shit like that happened with his kids. So yeah, when you're a dad, man, it's a whole different thing. Anyway, now we're over to the hat segment, man. I wanted to go through the hats real quick and show you guys my collection, I guess, if you want to call it that. So these are actually individual holders. As you can see by the side, it holds, you know, a decent amount of hats. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 9 in this one. I know I have some that have about 12, maybe 15, but I don't have them like color coded or anything. I have like similar ones, you know, but this is one of the new ones I got recently. As you can see, the little tomahawk, that's one of my favorite kind of parts of this hat. Plus, it's just a really comfortable hat, honestly. I've only worn it once, but I liked it a lot. So this is one of the new ones. I'm sure you've seen me wear this one, this Braves. I don't wear it a ton, but it's definitely one of my favorites in this color. Definitely got to have the big logos all over the place. The tomahawk is definitely one of my favorite parts of the Atlanta Braves. So that's a cool hat. Oh, and it's got the A in the back, so that's dope. This one's a classic old school lowercase a, and the material on this hat's a little different as well, so it's kind of nice. I'll be in Atlanta in a few weeks. You want me to look for you? Dude, if you see a collection, send me a picture. I might have you pick me something up, because I didn't get to stop when I was in Atlanta. So here's one I don't wear very often, but it's a cool one. The city, what is it called? City something. But yeah, I like this hat too. I don't wear it very often. I don't know why. I just kind of forget about it. This is a unique one because I don't know why it has a UFO on it, but it's got the peach because obviously Atlanta, and then the big patch on the side. And then I got, this one's one of my favorites. I like the color scheme, and it's got mushrooms on the side, which is pretty dope. And yeah, it's got them in the back too. So yeah, these are just like, you know, darker colored hats. I wear a lot of darker colored hats, but I have some lighter colored ones too, as you can see by this. And then, oh, this is one of my favorites too, with the blue kind of faded, and I love the underside of the bill as well. So there's that one. And then I did buy this hat in Charlotte when I went there to the Motor Speedway. I bought this hat. It says Charlotte Motor Speedway. Pretty cool. It's a new era hat. It's a snapback. I don't wear snapbacks much, but I did like the hat. And since my daughter's living in North Carolina, I actually used to be a North Carolina Tar Heels fan. So me and my boys back in the day had a little crew. We called ourselves the Blue Crew. And that's because we took a group picture one time with some baby blue shirts on. So everybody started calling us the Blue Crew. And actually it looks just like that baby blue hat that's back there right now, that color of a shirt. So they called us the Blue Crew. And so I was a North Carolina fan because of the baby blue. And so I had NC hats, beanies, shirts, jackets, and I was a big North Carolina fan, so it's kind of weird that my daughter winds up moving to North Carolina. It's like weird coincidence, right? So there's popping out the little dividers that hold these things up. Here's kind of my going around. Yeah, maybe I won't go through every hat because I got a ton of them, but look, this is how many hats are in there. You know, we got the going rounds. I love the back of this hat, the GRP. It's big. You know, a lot of times logo in the back is not that big. I made it bigger because I customized this hat. So she's okay, Infinity. A little homesick at the moment, but she's doing good. And we got this hat, which got the logos all over, which is cool. I like this one. It's the, you know, salute to service type shit. I like the side. And then this one just has flames, which is cool. This one is one of the newer ones. It's got the flowers. My daughter got me that. I thought that was pretty dope. And then just the classic, but they actually got it embroidered with my last name on the side. So that's cool. And this is one of my favorites just because the gray and black is just classic. And it goes with everything. So definitely love these going rounds hats. So you could see how popped out the lettering actually is. And then the back is sick. We got the gray on the underbill. And of course the new era. So a fitted new era customized hat is pretty expensive. It's a damn shame that it's so expensive, but hey, thanks Xavier, I appreciate that. So yeah, as you can tell, I got a lot. There's 6 of these containers, and that's why I'm like, you know, maybe I'll just try to go through. This is one of my favorite brand new hats, the Wildcats hat. I like the color. I like the combo. It's awesome. So I got some of my Colts hats here. Another salute to service. Kind of the classic Colts hat. Couple more Colts hats. I like the camo on this one. And then one of my favorites, even though it's not the colors of the Colts, I like the color of this hat. And then this one too. So pretty penny for that GRP hat, 100%. And I have 2 of them. And my daughter basically had me make them and she paid for them. So I appreciate her for that. Because yeah, I told her, don't get me much more because that hat's expensive. And then we got, this one's packed because I have, see, you could tell a lot of the different just colors, various colors in this one. We got the Mexican flag hat. I just wore that one because we went and watched the Mexico versus Ecuador game at a restaurant with some friends. So the Mexican hat's pretty dope. Another lowercase a. This one's cool. I like the color. Here's my other America hat, USA, red, white, and blue. This one's one of my faves. The pink and the black and the white. This one's cool too. And then this one's one of my favorites as well. So this one's pretty different. I don't wear this one often because I just don't have a lot of brown. But I did like this hat and I got it for like 15 bucks. It's still a, you know, new era fitted, but yeah. And then I got this one. And this one's pretty different. I don't wear this often either, but I'm sure you've seen me wear it a couple times. I don't go too crazy with the brighter colors, but I have switched it up a bit. And so, shit, I only got 2 more, so I'll just finish it up and go through the last couple. This one doesn't have a lot. It's mostly gray hats. But, yeah, we got this kind of broken looking one. It's crazy. This is one of my favorites because I like the colors and I like the way the A's laid out. This is the Japanese Braves, which was sick. I saw somebody wearing this one and I loved it so much I had to get it. Another one of my favorites because of the colors. I like the under the brim. My other going rounds hat, the first one, the official first one. Different GRP in the back. I hadn't made the other logo yet. Tried to make it to the end, but stream was great, man. I appreciate it. Looking forward to the next one. Hey, thank you, Xavier. I appreciate it. And then we got this one. We got some green colors and then a camo. So one more left, and it's mostly red hats. And I do like red. So we had to go with the classic red and white, which is this one. We got this one, which is a spring training hat. I like the color combo on this one and the material of the hat. This is one of my favorite all-time hats of the Braves. The colors, the logo, it's pretty sick. So I like that one a lot. My U of A, straight red. And then we got a couple white Braves hats. So yeah, those are all of them, man. I told you, mostly Braves, but I got some Wildcat hats now, which is awesome. I got some Colts hats. Appreciate that. All is good. So yeah, I just wanted to show those because we talk about my hats a lot, and there's a ton. I got a bunch, and this is definitely one of my new favorites because yeah, it's just a pretty sick hat, honestly. And it fits nice, and I like it. It's perfect for 4th of July too. So yeah, there's my hat collection, man. I know it was a lot, but and I know some people might be like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I just figured it was just something else to show, because that's one of my things that, you know, I'm known for, is just wearing hats. I have all kinds of different hats, as you saw, and I wear hats all the time. People have made comments on here, whether it be, I like all your hats, or why the fuck do you always wear hats, or how many fucking hats do you have? Now you know, I got a bunch. I just showed you basically all of them. Definitely counted them yesterday, and I think it was somewhere between 48 and 50. So would you ever rock a snakeskin snapback? I don't know, depends. I'd have to see it, you know what I mean? I'm not big into snapbacks, but I'll wear them. You know, I don't wear them often, but I will. I just like the way a fitted hat feels. I had to wear snapbacks for so long because I couldn't afford a fitted hat. So when I was finally able to just be able to spend the money on it, I was definitely like, hey, I want fitted all the time. So, and now they just make so many, it's crazy. That's why I like collecting them, because they make so many different variations of them. So it's fun. Anyway, all right. So there's the hats. We went through and saw all the old pictures from all the fighters I've met. I can't believe I missed the Cain Velasquez one. I'll have to find it and show you guys at another time. Lids, Maine, yeah, I know. I damn near have a full lids store of my own. Do you wear hats a lot in your teen years? Yeah, I wore them a lot, like growing up, because I was playing baseball all the time. So I would always wear hats. And then when I got into my 20s, I kind of stopped wearing them as much. Whenever I did wear them, I have a lot of pictures of me with a hat on backwards. So in my 20s, I was constantly wearing it backwards. and then I kind of stopped wearing them for a long time. And yeah, I stopped wearing them, and then I just got back into wearing them again. So you think you'll go to UFC 400? Shit, probably not. But what I will say is, I don't know if it was correct, but it said that it's they're speculating that UFC Noche might take place in Arizona this year. And if that happens, I think I have to go. Because that's happening in September. So if that's the case, I might have to go. But we'll see. I don't know if that was just a rumor or if that was legit. I haven't looked into it any deeper, so we'll see. But depending on where UFC 400 is and what the ticket prices look like, maybe. But yeah, what are we at? 329, so that'll be in a couple years. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So let's talk about these rankings a little bit. As you can see, what? What did you do for UFC 300? I just watched it. Oh no, I wasn't even home. I watched it on my phone, honestly. I was on a tablet. I think I was at a music festival when UFC 300 hit. So yeah, I didn't get to watch it on. I didn't do a watch party or anything. I actually was. I had a Samsung tablet that I was watching it on, which is crazy. Sitting outside, drinking some beers while we were at a music festival. So that was kind of crazy because I remember the knockout and stuff. It was nuts. But Yeah, so if you haven't seen the new layout of the rankings, now they have the meta rankings, which is in with the black background, and then you can go to the media rankings, which is the white background. That's how you distinguish the difference between those. And here is what I found for men's pound for pound top rank. It says, which is they have Islam Makhachev at number 1, kind of makes sense. Volkanovski at 2, Petr Yan at 3, Justin Gaethje at 4, Ilya, Tom Aspinall, Sean Strickland, Alex Pineda down to 8. Damn. Merab down to 9 after he was up there for a while. Cyril Gane, Joshua Van, Hamzat at 12, Alex Pantoja at 13, Arman Tsarukyan at 14, and Charles Oliveira at 15. As you can tell, some of the champs that are in right now, that are champs right now, aren't even on this list. But well, I guess it's just the men, right? So who isn't on this list that's a champion right now? Maybe they did cover everybody. Oh, Carlos Ulberg, he's not on the list. And Sean Strickland is Tom. Yeah, I think Ulberg's the only one that's not on the list. But does the pound for pound list reward inactivity? I don't know. It doesn't. I haven't read anything specifically on the pound for pound list. So what I will say is that I had some stuff here that gave me some info, and I don't see anything about pound for pound on here, but it does say that the rankings used to be decided by a panel of media members voting every week, and then the promotion transitioned into meta UFC rankings. And I feel like the reason for that is because Meta's now sponsoring, and I think that it's more of a sponsorship thing than anything, but because people complain about the rankings and the way that they're done, and I don't feel like who has more credibility, the AI with analytics or the media who watch the fights and rank based on opinion? Well, I feel like that's the thing, is I feel like the media can be biased, recency biased, as well as biased as a fan. You know what I mean? Not everybody can distinguish the difference between their personal feelings as a fan and what they're tasked with doing. So I feel like that does come into play sometimes, including characteristics of the fighters as far as their own personal views, like Sean Strickland and stuff like that. I think people sometimes let that get in the way as well. That's a human flaw, and so humans will have that get in the way sometimes, and they can't override it. You know what I mean? But with AI, I think with AI, they can analyze the numbers, they can analyze the information on the internet, but nothing's ever going to capture the true feeling of being at a fight and watching it live, or watching it live on your TV and getting the feeling that you get when you see the fighter do whatever they do in that fight to win that belt, or in that fight to win that fight. And I feel like the human perspective of it is missing from the AI rankings, and you can tell that by looking at them a little bit. I feel like the AI rankings aren't far from what the regular media rankings are in some instances, and some of them they're pretty far, so it's kind of tough. But as far as who has more credibility, I don't know. I just think it's different. That's really the only thing I can say about it. So but yeah, if you look at it here, we have the men's pound for pound. If you're looking for that, it's the first one on the list. But if you click over to the media rankings, you don't have it there. So that's what's a little bit confusing. So if you look down, you're not going to find it because it's not there. There's no pound for pound for what is the media rankings. Wait a minute. So the meta rank. Oh, I'm sorry. I had it backwards. So these are the meta UFC rankings in the white. These are the media panel rankings. I screwed it up. So only in the media panel rankings will you find the pound for pound. It's the AI doesn't have it. So when All Is Good asked if the pound, does it reward in activity? Yeah, for the AI portion, obviously not, because they don't even have one. So if we're looking at similarities here between the meta and the media rankings, it looks like they look pretty similar. So the meta rankings, we'll just go with the top 5. We got Loner Kavanaugh at 5, Brandon Royval, Tatsuro Taira, Manel Kopp, Alexandre Pantoja. As far as the media rankings, we got Kyoji Horiguchi, Brandon Royval, Tatsuro Taira, Manel Kopp, Pantoja. So not too far off. We got Loner Kavanaugh further down. So, I mean, you know, that's where you see some of the difference here. Obviously, the AI is more data driven. You know, it says it automatically calculates rankings using statistical modeling and machine learning. While Meta helped develop the model, the UFC says the weekly rankings themselves are generated by a mathematical formula rather than a human vote. So it was a human vote that decided the rankings before in random media members, because they're not like Ariel Helwani. They're not any of the people from MMA fighting. They're not any of the people from, you know, any like none of those outlets. I mean, there might be somebody that's from that outlet, but they're not the people that you know and see things on social media and stuff from. They're all randomized. And there's some people in there that don't even make sense. I've heard the list a couple times of who actually votes on the rankings, and it's kind of weird to know that it's people that aren't even notable people in the sport or in the media for the sport. So it's kind of weird. But I mean, as far as how in depth they go with that, I'm not sure. It says how it works. It's designed around one simple philosophy: rank fighters based on what they actually accomplish inside the octagon, not popularity, reputation, or media opinion. So that's what AI meta rankings are aiming for. So that's what you see here. It's not based on popularity, reputation, or media opinion. And that's what they're trying to go for, unbiased. But I don't know that works all the time. Strength of opponent is the most important thing. Not every victory is created equal. The system heavily rewards wins over highly ranked opponents while giving much less credit for beating lower ranked or unranked fighters. Which is why when you see a guy that's ranked number 13 trying to fight a guy that's ranked number 6, the guy at number 6 doesn't want to fight him, and then all you hear is about how he's ducking him. Well, according to the new rankings, if you want to keep your ranking or benefit your ranking of any sort and move your way up, fighting somebody who is a lower ranked or unranked fighter is gonna hinder you on moving up the rankings. The problem with that is, how are you ever supposed to move up if you're not fighting anybody higher in the rankings? Because you're not going to fight anybody that's at the same ranking as you, because not everybody's tied for 7th or tied for 8th or tied for 2nd. So it's very rare you're going to get somebody with the same ranking. So you're going to have to fight somebody above you or fight somebody under you. How does that make sense? So that's weird to me. AI can be influenced too, unfortunately. 100% it can. What's the hardest division right now in your opinion? It's got to be like lightweight or welterweight, right? Lightweight is stacked. Ilya Topuria, Arman Tsarukyan, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, Benoit Saint-Denis, Mateusz Gamrot, Renato Moicano, Quillen Selkill, Paddy Pimblett, Mauricio Hufi, Dan Hooker, Tom Nolan, Fiziev, Grant Dawson, Rafa Garcia, with the champion being Justin Gaethje right now. That's a tough-ass division. But look at featherweight. Volkanovski, Evloev, Lopez, Murphy, Sterling, Arnold Allen, John Silva, Pat Sabatini. So, you know, when you get a little further down, then you start to kind of wonder a little bit. So it's not as strong as the lightweight division, I think. Looking at the bantamweight division, that one's pretty strong. Petr Yan is your champ. Fighting period should be a factor above or lower reasonably. Oh, I think so. I'll keep going and tell you what else they're going off of. But this is a good thing here. Petr Yan is your champ. Merab Umar Nurmagomedov, Sean O'Malley, Sandhagen, Bautista, Song Yadong, David Martinez, Raoni Barcelos, Marcus McGee, Basharat, Figueiredo, Zahabi, Jourdain, Bryce Mitchell, Montel Jackson. So, you know, towards the end there, it gets to be a little bit, you know, not as strong as that. Look at, I mean, the lightweight division, you just keep going and you keep naming big names. Tom Nolan is probably the least valuable name next to Grant Dawson on that list. Everyone else, super valuable name, super dangerous fighter. And Tom Nolan and Grant Dawson aren't any pushovers either. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Look at flyweight. Pantoja, Kopp, Tyra, Royval, Kavanaugh, Elmabayev, Horiguchi, Albazi, Moreno, Borjas, Raposo, Sumadarji, Urseg, Perez, Morales. That one falls off a little bit at the end as well, but still not as strong as lightweight. You go to welterweight, this one feels pretty strong. You got Makachev, Prates, Gary, Morales, Madalena, Brady, Bonfim, Mohammed, Edwards, Buckley, Usman, Malat, MVP, D-Rod, Euros Medic, and Yaroslav Amosov. That's a pretty strong fucking lineup there for the top 15, with the champ being Islam. That's crazy. The less a batter goes up to the plate, the higher he can keep his average. That's a great point. All is good. You're not wrong about that. Middleweight: Strickland, Hamzat, DDP, Imavov, Pfeiffer, Allen, Bohalio, Fluffy, Izzy, Robocop, Ikram, Cannoneer, CLD, Bo Nickel, Paulo Costa, Abus Magomedov. There's a couple in there that are a little questionable as to how they stack up against that lightweight or welterweight division, but middleweight's pretty goddamn strong. And then I feel like you get light heavy and heavyweight, and they're not very deep. Olberg's the champ at light heavy. Pineda's number one, and he's not even in that weight class anymore. Ankalaev, Yuri, Costa, Hill, Roundtree, Reyes, Ozdemir, Mirzakhanov, Guskov, Jacoby, Sterling, Manifield, Walker, Blachowicz. So it gets a little iffy in there. You know what I mean? Mirzakhanov's good, but how good? You know what I mean? Guskov's good. Sterling has been showing some good stuff lately. Dustin Jacoby's good. Manifield's okay. Johnny Walker's back and forth. I mean, so it gets a little weary in there. And in heavyweight, you got Aspinall as the champ. Hasn't fought in how long because of the injury with the eyes, right? Cyril gone. Volkov, Pavlovich, Pineda, Hokit, Cortez Acosta, Kuniev, Blades, Spivak, Petrino, Walker, Walter Walker, Rando Pericic, Mario Pinto. I mean, it's not very deep. You know what I mean? So I would say for sure I would go lightweight and then welterweight, with middleweight being close behind. Those are really your top three. So the middle of the weight classes I feel like are the most dangerous. Let's take a look. It says examples for beating or not giving much for credit for beating lower ranked or unranked fighters. It says examples: beating the number 2 contender is worth significantly more than beating the number 13 contender. That's obvious. But how, if you're the number 6 contender, do you get a fight against the number 2 contender when it doesn't seem to benefit the number 2 contender to fight the number 6 contender if they win? So really they have something to lose and nothing to gain, according to this. So there's something that's flawed with the AI rankings. Defeating an elite fighter can launch someone several spots in one night. Sure, makes sense when you can get that fight. Sometimes you get to the point where you have to step in on late notice, but that doesn't happen that often. Losing to the champion hurts less than losing to someone outside the top 15. That's obvious. This creates a true strength of schedule component similar to other professional sports. Okay. How you won is something that matters. KO TKO victories score the highest. Submission victories are rewarded heavily. Dominant unanimous decisions receive solid credit. Dominant unanimous decisions, not just UDs. Close split decisions earn less. A spectacular finish over top 5 opponent carries much more weight than narrowly edging out an unranked fighter. That's obvious as well. Outcome probability. A heavy underdog upsetting number one contender earns a much larger boost. So if you're a big underdog, as Justin Gaethje was, he would have been boosted higher in the rankings quicker had he not become the champ for beating Ilia Topuria because of how much of an underdog he was. A champion beating the number 14 contender doesn't provide nearly as much movement because it was expected. Yeah, but you're the champions, and who gives a shit? You don't have anywhere to go but down, right? So these are weird. Essentially, surprising wins are rewarded more than predictable ones. Fighter trajectory, momentum now matters. The algorithm recognizes winning streaks, consecutive high-level performances, improving competition, overall career direction. Activity level, there's something that's important. One of the biggest complaints about the old rankings was inactive fighters remaining highly ranked for years. The new system rewards activity. Fighters who compete regularly maintain stronger rankings, while inactivity gradually lowers a fighter's score. So if you're taking a lot of time off, whether it be for injury or because you're just not getting in there all the time, which unfortunately for the Dagestani and a lot of those fighters that, you know, recognize Ramadan and stuff like that and don't fight during those times, that's going to affect them negatively. And while the argument can be made it's their religion and all that, when they put something into an algorithm like this, that doesn't get taken into consideration. So that could hurt them in the end. It encourages contenders to stay active instead of sitting on rankings waiting for the opportunities. But again, it's a contradiction, because if you're ranked number one and you just want that title fight, but you're stuck in a trilogy fight and having to wait for these guys to get over the trilogy, you can't go anywhere else, because if you fight somebody lower ranked, it's gonna take a hit to your ranking and then possibly take away your number one contender spot, which would give you the title shot next when it's open to be fought. How does that make sense? So that's something that I find to be a problem. I don't know how they fix that problem though. We'll see if maybe AI fixes it. We'll see. But according to these, you know, somewhat definitions, it doesn't seem like it. A huge win last month is weighted more heavily than a similar win 3 years ago. Long periods without meaningful victories naturally cause rankings to decline. Instead of the media just saying, hey, this is a good guy, we know how good he is, yeah, he hasn't fought in a year and a half, but we're gonna keep him at number 4. And then he just doesn't move. So what doesn't matter anymore is popularity, social media following, trash talk, media narratives, UFC hype, name recognition, fan demand. So according to the rankings for Meta, it doesn't matter your social media following, which I'm kind of surprised, your popularity, which apparently was a thing in the past. I don't know. I guess so. Trash talk. Yeah, I could see how guys moved up in rankings because of the trash talk. UFC hype, sure. Media narratives, I guess. Yeah, if the media's, you know, if they're voting on these, then the media itself is going to have, you know, some kind of boost to it. Biggest differences between the old and new systems. Obviously one's AI, one's voted by the media. Subjective to objective kind of opinions. Popular fighters often stay ranked with the media, while the, you know, activity, it's basically everything that was just listed. Reputation, influence, the media, and you know, that doesn't count so much. It's only measurable performance. So, you know, you got the people disagreeing with the votes, and then the AI is just applying the same formula consistently every week, so the numbers matter instead of people having disagreements. Little transparency came from the media rankings, while you have clear evaluation criteria published by the UFC through the meta rankings. So everybody wanted to change because it seemed like the most popular fighters were staying highly ranked, even with the inactivity. If they're more popular on social media, if they brought, you know, eyes to the fights and butts in the seats, if they're just popular, a lot of trash talk, shit like that, all the things they listed. And with AI, they plan on that not being a thing, but they still have both rankings here. So it's like, which one do we listen to? Which one is more accurate, and which one holds the most weight? And I think that that's what causes a problem here, because it's like you're going to introduce these meta rankings, but you're going to still leave the media rankings going too. So it confuses people and it makes people wonder, okay, say, let's look at Azamat Murzakanov on the meta UFC rankings is ranked at number 9. If you go to Azamat Murzakanov over here, he's ranked number 7. So the media ranks him 2 spots higher. Do I pay attention to the media rankings and say Murzakanov is one of my favorite fighters? I think he's definitely tied at 7 on the media, on the rankings for the media. AI doesn't know what it's talking about because they have him at number 9. So you know, that's kind of one of the problems that I feel like comes from, you know, this kind of system. So also the media has Paulo Costa in the light heavyweight division, while over here in the meta AI, it shows him in the middleweight division. So, and that's because Paulo hasn't even fought in the, has he fought? Oh yeah, they have him at number 4. I'm sorry. I thought he wasn't even there. I was like, wait a minute. They have him at number 4 for meta, while the media has him at number, shit, where'd it go? Number 7. That's why I didn't think it was there. I'm like, what's happening here? So yeah, anyway, you got things like that. So if you're a fan of a certain fighter, which media rankings do you want to give credit to? You know what I mean? Because especially if one has them way higher than the other. Those are the types of problems that I see with this. I feel like you're supposed to be trying to get a more accurate thing coming from an algorithm, coming from an AI. But unfortunately, it's not foolproof. It can also be influenced, like Infinity said. And on top of all of it, it's confusing when you leave both the rankings up there. I say pick one and go with that. Whether people like it or not, someone's always going to complain. And if you're only doing the AI media or the AI meta rankings because Meta is sponsoring, I think that's whack. And I bet you anything they go back to the media rankings. I feel like they should just polish those media rankings a little better and put more notable people that have recognition from the fan base as having knowledge. So I think that's one of their downfalls with doing the AI rankings and stuff. But there's a lot that can be said about it. There's a lot of good and bad, pros and cons. In the end, who gives a shit about the rankings? Because if you want a guy to fight another guy and you think that they're, obviously you can't have a guy on a 6-fight losing streak tied to Ivasa's 7-fight losing streak. And because he's well known, he's a character that's entertaining, and people can get past the fact that he's not a great fighter. But because he's popular and everybody loves him and will come and watch him fight for a title, doesn't mean that he should get a title shot. There's obvious, limitations to that kind of shit. But obviously, if we know that Yuri is ranked at number 3, and we think that he can beat Carlos Ulberg, then who cares that he's ranked number 3 if Ulberg's probably already beaten number 1 and number 2, just in theory, you know what I mean? If that's what we wanted, hypothetically, and why not, and that's not always what happens. So the numbers are the numbers. The AI just seems to favor more recent wins rather than the context behind them. Usman beat Buckley and Silva beat Ellen, but both guys are ranked above the guy they lost to. Yeah, there's flaws with all of it, man, and that's why it's confusing and irritating. So in the end, the rankings are what they are, which is why I don't pay that much attention to them. I'll be honest with you. How many times have you seen me bring up the rankings page? And the reason why I don't is because I don't put much validity in all of it. I don't let that tell me exactly what it's a part of it's a portion of the pie that I look at when I'm looking at fighters and what I think of them and whether they can get a title shot or not. So that's just me being the fan that I am. I would say look at the rankings, but don't they're not the end all be all, I feel like. So yeah, GRP rankings, man. Yeah, I mean, me just being me, I feel like there'd be some biases in there and people might not like it for that reason. I don't think anybody would really give a shit, but I mean, maybe you guys would, but like, I would really, I overthink these too much. So I'd have to put a lot of thought into trying to get them all. The rankings really matter in the top 5, but sometimes the UFC just straight up ignores them anyways, with cases like Alex, Dan Hendo, and Patty. Yeah, just because somebody moves a weight class and they were number 1 in the class that they were in before, doesn't mean they're going to be that in the class that they're coming into. So for them to be ranked, sure, give them somebody that's a good fighter in that new weight class because they have the credibility, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to fucking be ranked where they were ranked in their previous weight class. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. Impressions of Chael explaining the AI rankings. I really can't do a good impression of Chael. But I'm sure he would, the way that he explains things, it would be very confusing. And I'm sure he would talk about them not being real or something, or how there's some kind of conspiracy behind it. So anyway, yeah, so that's it for the rankings talk, man, because going deeper into all of that and really like thinking about it a little harder and paying a little closer attention to all of it, it really is fucking very confusing. So it makes it rough to be a fan sometimes. But Piero was ranked 7 when he fought Izzy. Henderson was 50 years old and ranked 11 when he fought Bisping, and Patty was number 8, then was gifted a 5th rank. Yeah, believe me, Junior, I fully understand. And that's why I stopped paying attention to the goddamn rankings, because I'm just like, we know who the top fighters are and we know who should be matched up, simply because we don't need to have rematches constantly. A really good fight between two guys and having it be close means we should get a rematch, pretty much. But when one guy gets beat up like Topuria did, I think that he does not deserve to get a immediate rematch, because first of all, yeah, he defended the belt, but it's not like he was a long reigning champion. I give a little more value to somebody who was a long reigning champion and maybe got dominated to lose the belt. Sure, give him another chance. If he comes back and loses again, he ain't gonna get a title shot for a little while. But these guys like Diego Lopez, I love Diego Lopez, but damn, to continuously keep getting the shot when you got somebody like Imavov up there, like, what are we doing? And then for Pereira to come over and just to fight for a title is rough when he hasn't even fought one fight in that weight class. So yeah, sure, I get it. The there's a lot of anticipation and hype around it, but that doesn't always mean everything. So that's what it seems like. They're trying to get better with the AI rankings, but there's flaws in that too, as we saw. So it's tough, man, all the way around. And that's why I'm glad I'm not in charge of all that shit. But thanks for entertaining the different kind of show today. It was cool going down memory lane and showing you guys all my pictures of the, the fighters and stuff that I've been able to, meet and talk to and take pictures with. And Armin wasn't given the title shot after his Dan fight because Dana and the UFC wanted to punish him. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like no matter who's doing the rankings, the UFC is going to punish whoever they want to punish when they feel necessary. So that's how it goes. AI can't fix that. So, but yeah, thanks for entertaining me with everything, the difference of the shows, and checking out all my hats. I do love my hats, as you can tell, and I have a bunch of them. So thanks for sitting through that and hanging out with me and interacting with me. I appreciate it. Thank you all is good. How do you feel about all the new matchups? Haven't really given them a whole lot of thought. So maybe for Sunday show, I'll talk a little more about it. How do you feel? Oh, you grilling Saturday? Yeah. My wife is big on watching the hot dog eating contest and stuff, which it sounds funny, but she really does. Joey Chestnut and all that. So yeah, 4th of July, we got to have some dogs. But yeah, I'll be grilling some food. It'll be cool. Hope you guys have a great 4th of July. Make sure you're safe and just have a great time, man. Enjoy yourself and take some time to relax and chill and have some good food and some good company and have a good 4th of July. Come back on Sunday for another show. I believe I'll have another show. I should have something going on. Maybe we'll get into some deeper talk about Connor and Max, even though we'll be going through all the fights on Thursday for the preview. We'll get into some deeper talk about Max and Connor, now that Connor's returning and all that. So thank you guys again for being here, supporting and interacting and all that good stuff. Make sure you like this video before you leave, or if you're watching this later, please drop a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do that as well. Yeah, come back on Thursday, or come back on Sunday for some more content. All right, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Happy 4th of July. Peace.